Here's something that should terrify you. Right now, there are people in their 50s who've earned over $2 million throughout their entire career, and their net worth is less than $15,000. I'm not talking about people who got unlucky or had some major catastrophe. I'm talking about normal people with decent jobs, nice homes, people who look successful on the outside. But when you actually look at their balance sheet, there's almost nothing there. The average person at age 40 has a net worth of about $18,000. At 50, it's around $43,000. Think about that. Decades of work, hundreds of thousands of dollars earned, and still nowhere close to having real wealth. So what's actually happening here? Hey everyone, I'm Mac, and I'm kind of obsessed with money and finance. I spend hours every day studying how wealthy people actually build and keep their wealth, what they do differently, where they invest, and most importantly, the systems they use that most people never even know exist. Today, I want to talk about something that changed my entire perspective on building wealth. There's this invisible barrier at $100,000 in net worth, and most people never make it past that point. But once you break through it, everything gets easier. The math literally starts working in your favor. So today, I'm breaking down exactly why most people stay stuck below 6 figures in net worth and how you can be one of the few who actually makes it to the other side. Let me start with the hard truth. If you're wondering why you can't seem to build wealth no matter how hard you work, it's probably because you're caught in one of 4 devastating traps. The brutal thing about these traps is that they feel completely normal. Everyone around you is stuck in them too, so it just seems like this is how life works. The first trap is what I call the upgrade addiction. My friend Sarah just got promoted. She went from making $65,000 a year to $85,000. That's a $20,000 raise. So what happened? Within 3 months, she moved into a nicer apartment. Her rent went up by $800 a month. She bought a newer car, adding another $300 a month in payments. She upgraded everything. And here's the kicker. A year later, she has less money in her savings account than she did before the promotion. $20,000 more in annual income, and somehow she's actually in a worse position financially. Here's what nobody tells you. Every single upgrade you make doesn't just cost you once, it costs you forever. That $800 rent increase, that's $9,600 a year, every year that could have been invested. Over 10 years, assuming average market returns, that apartment upgrade just cost you about $150,000 in potential wealth. This is why people making 6 figures still can't break $100,000 in net worth. They're spending their raises faster than they're earning them. The second trap is the monthly payment trap, and it's designed specifically to separate you from your wealth without you even noticing. I was at a car dealership last month, and I watched the salesperson talk to a young couple. The couple asked how much the car costs. You know what the salesperson said? He didn't say $35,000. He said, "This one runs about $450 a month. Does that work with your budget?" That's not an accident. That's a strategy. Because when you think in terms of monthly payments, you completely lose sight of the actual cost of things. Let me break down what's really happening. Say it's a $35,000 car financed at 6% interest over 72 months. By the time you're done, you've paid over $40,000 for a car that's now worth maybe $18,000. You lost $22,000. But it gets worse. That $565 a month, if you'd invested it instead, you'd have over $55,000 after those 6 years. So that car didn't just cost you $22,000 in depreciation, it cost you $77,000 in opportunity cost. That's the real price of thinking in monthly payments. The third trap is waiting to invest, and it might be the most expensive mistake you ever make. Let me show you some math that genuinely changed my life. Meet 2 people. Jessica starts investing $300 a month at age 25. She does this for 10 years, then stops completely. Mike waits until he's 35 to start investing. He invests $300 a month from 35 until he's 65. That's 30 years versus Jessica's 10. So who has more money at 65? Jessica does, by a lot. Jessica ends up with about $700,000. Mike ends up with about $450,000. Same monthly amount, but Jessica has $250,000 more because she started earlier. Those first 10 years were worth more than the next 30 combined. Time is the most valuable ingredient in wealth building, and it's the one thing you can never get back. The fourth trap is this. Most people are buying the wrong things. They're spending all their money on stuff that costs them money instead of stuff that makes them money. I know two guys from college. Both started at around $70,000 a year. 5 years later, guy number one drives a brand new Audi, lives in a downtown loft, looks successful on Instagram, but he has about $4,000 invested and $30,000 in debt. His net worth is actually negative. Guy number two drives a 2015 Honda Civic, lives with roommates, but has $140,000 in index funds and rental property. What's the difference? One buys things, the other buys assets. One is building wealth, and the other is building the appearance of wealth, and the appearance of wealth is expensive. So why does hitting $100,000 matter so much? At $100,000 invested, assuming an 8% annual return, your money makes you $8,000 a year without you doing anything. That's almost $700 a month in growth. And here's where it gets crazy. That growth compounds. Next year, you're earning 8% on $108,000, then $116,000. The numbers start feeding on themselves. And this is why wealthy people always say the first $100,000 is the hardest. Getting from 0 to $100K is all you. It's all discipline and sacrifice. But once you get to that $100,000 mark, the boulder starts rolling downhill. I've seen this in my own life. Getting to my first $50,000 took me almost 4 years. Getting from $50,000 to $100,000 took about 2 years. Getting from $100,000 to $200,000, 14 months. The acceleration is insane once you get past that initial threshold. So how do you actually do this? First, kill all high-interest debt. You cannot invest your way out of 20% credit card debt. Every dollar you put toward high-interest debt is giving you a guaranteed 20% return. Kill the debt first. Second, build a $10,000 emergency fund. This stops you from going back into debt the next time something breaks. Third, automate everything. Set up automatic transfers. The day after your paycheck hits, money automatically moves to your investment account. You never see it, you never touch it. This one change probably added like $200,000 to my net worth just because I removed the decision from the equation. Fourth, create a gap between your income and your spending. If you make $60,000, live like you make $40,000. If you make $100,000, live like you make $60,000. That gap is where wealth comes from. Small gaps, maintained consistently, compound into life-changing wealth. Let me leave you with this. Building wealth to $100,000 has almost nothing to do with how much you make and everything to do with how you think about money. I've watched people making $45,000 a year hit 6 figures in net worth faster than people making $150,000. The path to $100,000 is not glamorous. It's boring. It's watching your index funds slowly climb. It's driving the same car for years. It's packing lunch when everyone else is going out. That's exactly why most people never do it. But here's what nobody tells you. Once you cross that $100,000 threshold, everything changes. The second $100,000 comes faster than the first. The third comes faster than the second. Your money is working harder than you are. The game is rigged against you at the beginning. But if you can fight through that and get to that $100,000 mark, you've broken through the barrier that stops most people forever. So start today. Not tomorrow, not next month. Today. Even if it's just $50, start the clock on compound interest, because every day you wait is a day you can never get back. Go build that first $100,000. I promise you, it's worth it. So here's my question for you. When did you start investing, or when are you planning to start? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.